Hello, my beautiful Virgos. It's me, Laura. I'm going to do a general message for y'all. Know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed. Just the message as it best resonates for you. Only you know your story. Also, if you resonate with this video, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to do those two things anyway. And you also have to write the word of the day. The word of the day is going to be grounding. You're going to put that word in your comment bar. So you're going to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word grounding in your comment bar. You'll know if I chose you if I wrote the word winner underneath your comment. If I did, we'll correspond back and forth on YouTube to see what day and time works best for both of us. All right. Now, I also wanted to share if anything, again, you want to know about anything of any relevance to the channel, you can find in that description box. That includes personal links and Patreon links and other YouTube channel links if you're not a Virgo. Okay, just like I said, wanted to put that out there. And today we were going to look and see what your person truly feels about you and what they're going to do. All right. I also always like to look at the spiritual energies first. And so, a lot of times I'll pick it from the word of the day. So grounding, I'm feeling like that energy may resonate. And that could be you're connected to someone that it makes it very hard for you to stay grounded when you think of this person because you have a lot of emotions, right? But sometimes when we have wounds, that when it has to do with love and relationships, it's really hard for us to stay grounded. And that's if we've dated people in the past that weren't good to us. Now we happen to really like somebody. Then what happens is, again, it's difficult for us to stay present, grounded. We tend to read into everything that they do. We're normally, with someone that you're not crazy about, you usually don't do that, right? So I'm feeling like there's a little bit of that energy going on. I'm also feeling like omniscience. Again, this is a very strong spiritual connection. Almost like it feels like it's supposed to be. Even if you don't really know this person, I feel like you know them, but do you really know them? No, I don't feel like they ever really 100% let you in. However, there's this energy, the innovation energy, which number one, Virgo, I feel like this is all about you. You're a creative person. I also believe that this relationship could be a different type of relationship for both you and the person that you're connected to. And I believe that they are very much around you and they are thinking about the differences. And I think in the beginning, those differences actually scared your person, where I don't think that things like that scare you, Virgo. That I feel like you're a free spirit, that you're, when it comes to that, where your person, the person that's connected to you that I'm feeling is around you, is someone that tends to be very structured, likes how things look on paper. You don't fall into that, the criterias that they normally look for in a person. So it tells me, again, a very strong spiritual connection. A lot of times that happens when it's a divine connection, right? But the innovation is always like ideas, right? And for ideas, there has to be passions next to it, right? And again, like what births ideas? Things that we're interested in, things that stir up our soul. It's again, so I'm feeling like we're dealing with a soulmate twin flame relationship here, but I feel like you are in your essence of creating. This is the energy right now. I just always like to look at the energies first. And invincibility, there's a sense of no matter what this connection goes through, there's a sense that it won't break up. It's almost like this is a past life connection, the soulmate twin flame. We can feel when somebody feels familiar. It's gone through a lot of ups and downs. It's not an easy relationship because opposites, they do attract, but they also can tend to trigger because they don't think the same, don't handle life the same way. Our approach to life is different. And so that altogether could be triggering. However, the love, the unconditional love, is what makes it invincible. And I'm feeling like that's the overall energy. Now, whether that's how it's playing out, that might not be. We can have very strong passion for someone that we don't get along with. A lot of soulmate twin flames, that's what happens because over time, there's trust issues, and trust doesn't necessarily mean that your twin cheated, but your twin has a problem emotionally showing up for you. So there is normally trust, major trust issues. There's always a runner and a chaser, and those roles always switch too, usually when the one person has had enough. Now, nevertheless, this just speaks of an unconditional love and a very different type of love, one that both parties have marinated on a lot, thought a lot about, tried to even walk away from, try to talk yourself out of being in this type of relationship because it's a difficult one. There's again, soulmate twin flame is not an easy relationship. All right, so let's see what they say. We will be together again. I feel like again, you guys are in separation. There's not even like where you guys are even speaking is what I'm feeling. This relationship has been one that's been on and off. But it's again, the overall spiritual energy is that you both, even though you guys are both in separation, you both can feel each other. You both can feel the unconditional love. You both can feel that this relationship is something special, that there's some sort of importance to it, that you both are supposed to be in each other's life, even though you're opposite, even though it wasn't an easy relationship. Is again, this energy is like a past life love connection. So it's really indestructible. That's what it feels like because it transcends all time and space. So believe that you both try to walk away from it, but your person believes that you guys will be together again because I believe that they're cocky. They believe that when they set their mind to something, they can have it. They tend to strategize. They tend to really seek out ways to get what they want. They're a little manipulative. But it's just the way that they think. They're more of a business person. They more or less deal with life almost as if they were dealing with a business. So there is a confidence there. But I think that they feel, again, that because they're still thinking about you and they can still feel you, there's a sense that they know that you're still there, that your story with them is not over. I love you. I feel like they love you because they're still thinking about you. You know what I mean? It's like this type of relationship stands the test of time. So they've come to this realization that you're someone important in their life and that they care. I know I messed up everything. And I think normally when they used to mess up things, they normally didn't care. They were able to walk away and not really think about it. And so now they know that they, really truly have feelings because they can't walk away. They still feel you, I hid who I really am from you. I feel like they didn't think that they were good enough for you. You know, they also have had a lot of bad type of relationships, so they didn't want you to judge them based on what other people used to think about them. They don't have a good sense of self. So they put on a facade, they wear a mask, they wanted you to see that they wanted you to perceive who they were through the mask, not really through getting to know them. It was my fault, but I blamed you. I believe that again, they wanted to have one foot in, one foot out. Didn't want you to leave. They just wanted everything on their terms. And then when you would, state what you wanted, what your concerns were, and what you needed, they would twist it and then make it like you were difficult. And that was mainly to not let you get that close to them. I really feel like this person made it like their life was like a facade. I'm going to use some of my homemade cards. I'm called to see. I want to see. I want to see what else. Because, okay, so like now that they did this, are they embarrassed that they did this? The card fell out and it's like I have to get it. I feel like it's important. I always feel like there's no mistakes. If a card falls out, it's like, what is it? It's like, are you going to listen to me? So they want to talk to you, but there's a sense that they know that you're mad because, they played games. They had one foot in, one foot out. They didn't want you to get that close to them. They gaslighted. They blamed you when all you did were trying to do was try to have some sort of boundary with them, try to figure out what type of relationship you were in with this person because they were showing you one thing but then acting a different way. And then when you would call them out on it, they twisted things and they played games and they didn't really come through. And I feel like they held back from you for a long time. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry for all the pain that I've caused, because they can feel the spiritual connection. I don't think for a long time that they really looked at the connection. I think that they treated you like how they treat everybody else. And they didn't really think that the relationship was that important. They never had a deep connection like this before. They've always had the upper hand in relationships. And you may say, like, how is that possible? I just think that it's, again, when they're used to not expressing themselves and they are perceived as good looking and have their act together, well, it's not that hard. There's always going to be somebody that gives. And if your person never budged, they didn't, whatever, worked for them is what they went with. This twin flame relationship is not an easy relationship. It's not something that they don't think the way you think. So again, you may be someone that's like deals with everything emotionally. Maybe again, you give and you show that you love, where this person again has a really hard time expressing their feelings and doesn't show that they care right away. It's something that it's a very slow unfoldment process. Well, and obviously we see this because they wore a mask. They didn't want you to see who they truly were. They didn't want you to get that close, but they didn't want you to move on either. So they had one foot in, one foot out. So there's a sense that they are afraid now that you're not going to trust them because they're like, I'm going to try and talk to you, but are you going to listen to me? Most likely you're not going to, is what their fear is. Body mind work was flipped over, and I'm feeling that is your person has a lot of trauma around relationships, so they really need to do healing work on themselves because they're treating this relationship. Did they handle this correctly? Not really. It's again, they knew that this was a special relationship, but they never gave it that. They never gave the relationship the energy that it deserved. They always downplayed their feelings, and they played a lot of games. They didn't want you to get that close. They were a facade. They wanted you to see them through that mask. They they weren't sure what they wanted. Now that you walked away, they still feel you, they still think about you. That this confuses them because normally they don't have those type feelings. They usually are able to have it their way and everything work out. And you are nothing like what they are normally attracted to. So it's very confusing for them. But they've realized too that they have very strong feelings and they're not good with their feelings. So you represent a lot of like almost like taboo to this person. You look different, you act different, you might not have the same religion, you might not be from the same culture, you may not have from the same background. This person, family could be very prejudiced, they might have opinions. Your person doesn't have a good sense of who they are. That's why they wear a mask. They don't even know who they are. So any type of different is going to be like an issue. Like, so all these problems that they've created, they created in their own head based on past relationships, based on what other people have done to them. This is what I'm seeing. However, during this process of separation, they're realizing that they have feelings. They're realizing that this is actually a divine connection. This person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. That's what I was saying, that they can kind of know already that this is a divine type of relationship because it's like, you're so different from me. You're not someone that I choose to. You handle things different from me. Do you like, if anything, it's a trigger because your person's used to an easy street in every relationship. And, when you're different, it calls for them to be different, to put in a little bit of effort because you also didn't put up with this shit. You were like, bye, I'm not going to tolerate it. It's like they want to blame you for their bullshit. You were like, no, I'm not going to tolerate it. So after you didn't, they almost like love you more because it's like, oh, you respect me. So it's like there's a sense that your person doesn't know who they are. And then when they get together with a person and they make that person do everything that they don't like that person anymore. Now here you come along, you don't do anything that they want you to do. You don't look like how they normally date. You don't do anything like this. And they are like, why do I like you? It's like, why do I feel like I have no control with you when I have control over everything else? So this is like baffling to them. Try something you've never done before. So it's again, they're saying maybe my relationships haven't worked out because, I need to stop trying to like do everything from my way. I feel like they always dated like weak people that they could manipulate. Meanwhile, they're wearing a mask. So the relationship always fell apart. Nourish. So they know that they need to like nourish this relationship. They have to give something to this relationship. The problem is if you don't like yourself, you don't exactly give to the relationship because you're always going to think that it's not good enough. So it's a self-esteem problem. But because of their self-esteem, they played a lot of games. Influences, yep, and too many people influencing them. It's again when you don't have a good sense of self and you're wearing a mask. Then I believe your person hides behind material things. I believe that again, too much of family, of how they grew up and their family's opinions of what their life should look like tend to take precedence a lot. But they're seeing that that's not really the life that they want. I wish I could have a leisure coffee talk with you. It's like they want to like figure out how to have you in their life. What would be comfortable I'm feeling like they're gonna ask you. I'm feeling like they are gonna call you to like ask you to like go out, but it's gonna like you may be like, this is it. This is all that you're offering. Listen, it's a lot for them. They're insecure. So it's like, believe me, if they asked, they've been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, tried to walk away, tried to talk themselves out of it. You know that this person actually likes you because they have told themselves everything that they needed to hear to actually walk away where they tried to. They just can't. I have codependency issues. So it's again, when people don't feel good about themselves and they wear a mask, we know that. It's again that there's that shadow. The shadow part of ourselves is the part of ourselves that we detach from. This is why we wear a mask. It's like, I don't like that part of me. I've rejected that. But that is based on your person's life experiences, not really who they are. So I believe the people that are in their life are codependent, and they are the ones that have the, like a lot of influence over your person, because again, your person doesn't have a good sense of self. You are the awareness of life different. You look different, you act different, everything about you is different, and they love it. It's refreshing. It's not easy though. It's triggering. And mainly it's triggering because they're not living their truth. And because they're not living their truth, they can't really be in a good relationship with you. They can't give, they have to pick a side. But that's why we have soulmate twin flame relationships, right? We wouldn't have the courage to step into a new version of ourselves. That, you know, love, unconditional love makes us do it. And believe you me, this relationship isn't an easy relationship. So you know that they do love you because they're like, I tried to convince myself not to because it's too difficult. Too many people I would have to try and convince. And you know, the people that are around your person don't like change. They're reliant on them to not change. I'm obsessive. It's again, so when we don't live our truth, that's the behaviorism that tend to come from it, right? It's like, again, we're obsessive, compulsive, addictive behavior, right? Addictive behavior comes from not living your truth. When we don't live our truth and we have to wear a mask, where we're getting our energy from outside things, or continuously filling ourselves. And what we see is nothing really is permanently can fulfill us. What fills us is our addictions. What fills us is when we like something. And because you are not giving your person anything, because you've detached from them, they're obsessively thinking about you because they like you. And remember, there's pieces of their identity that are missing that they've detached from that they don't like. And it's easy for them to stay in this 3D connection. This one fell out. Let's see. I am interested in a sexual relationship only. So I believe that this is normally how they navigate. It's again, they don't have deep relationships. So they will try and convince themselves of that, and that's their natural way. I'm afraid that that's what you think, that they're actually only interested in a sexual relationship because they don't give time. And I think if they don't give time in getting to know you, it would wind up only being a sexual relationship because, like I said, they have to put the time in, and relationships that are so opposite, right? It takes relationships just in general about compromise. It's about learning trust. And trust is when two people show up for each other. And so this person hasn't gone through the steps of actually showing you that in a relationship. So you would always feel like you only want a sexual relationship because that's how you are. You're a surface person. You, again, that's how you were able to navigate. You even tried to walk away from me because I wanted a deep relationship. This is what I'm feeling, Virgo, of you, meaning that you're like, you already walked away from me because I asked for a regular relationship. Every time I would try to set a boundary to make myself feel as if I we were in a relationship that I could count on you. You always disappointed me, which is why your person's like, I know that you're probably not going to be that open to talking to me because I acted like a jerk. And it's like, but they acted like a jerk because they didn't want to give anything to this relationship. And the fact that they listen to other people, those influences, but they know I can't walk away from you. I still have so much feelings for you. Don't understand why I have all these feelings for you. It's a different type of relationship. It would be easier for them not to have any feelings, to be honest with you. It's those influences. This is like the problem because it keeps them stuck in a mindset. I miss you, but it's again, this relationship is a soulmate twin flame relationship. There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of chemistry, and it's a past life. So there's a familiarity. There's a sense of you're supposed to be in my life. I feel like you're supposed. Both parties feel that way. That's how the reading opened. So it's even though there's all this bullshit going on, where I feel like people are influencing your person to not like go towards you for whatever reason. It could be for work reasons, it could be past baby mommy, that baby daddy, it could be a lot of different reasons. However, what's really showing up is not even those people. Those people are secondary. The main part is your person doesn't like who they are. They hid behind a mask. They didn't let you get close. So yes, those influences are also there, telling them that they should continue to wear that mask, continue to do everything. But love, it will always win. Unconditional love will always win. And as I said, you are completely different. They tried to walk away from you, inspire them, you show them a different way, and they miss you. They actually have feelings, and they know that this is a spiritual connection. So it doesn't logically make sense to them, and they're a logical person. They like to handle everything logically. So it's a lot going on right now with this person. I depend on you too much to let you go. I feel like on an emotional level, even though this person isn't with you, they're codependent. It said that. So on in a way, like this 3D connection hold that they have with you is they know emotionally it's what gives to them. And that's not supposed to be like, that's not an identity. That's not life. When we are imagining, again, and can feel the connection with someone else that we have feelings for, but we can't really express them. It's like they are codependent where they rely on other people to emotionally give to them. They don't need that, but they don't know how to emotionally give back. So we need to look at your wounds and see, is that like a pattern that you wind up getting into, like of people that emotionally can't give you in return. I am focused on myself right now because I need healing. So it's again, this is at least good because, like I said, we're in a very imbalanced situation to begin with, and not until you came along, the awareness of, oh, I have this strong connection. You live differently. You act differently. I'm still attracted to you. Oh, I tried to manipulate you to get you to do what I wanted you to do. You're not doing that. You're making it difficult for me. I still have feelings for you. It's again, this awareness that they have because it's difficult and you're holding their attention is actually overriding all the influences that they have had, all the structures that have kept them safe, that have kept that mask in place, is actually not appealing to them anymore. This is how change is made. So I'd say that you're like actually the catalyst for this person to change because they establish your friendship without realizing it. So this is a person that I'm feeling was never in your life consistently, that they came in and they left and they came in and they left, and they the whole time they were not thinking that they were building such an emotional bond. But because you never really wanted anything, didn't have any expectations of them, didn't have anything, they considered you a friend. Then they don't really know how to treat people, because again, the mask, again, the wrong influences around them, so they never really had a friend. And so now that they're over here and you're not talking to them anymore, they miss the friendship. I play dumb to keep you confused. I feel like that's what they did for a very long time. So we can see, okay, and then loyalty. They had a lot of loyalty to that, again, to that either what a third party or group of people. And really, like they know that you shouldn't settle. They know that they don't even want to, they care about you. So even though at one point this person was very, very, very selfish, where they only cared about themselves, I think they were getting to a point where they're like, I really do have feelings, and it wouldn't be fair to make you settle. And they don't want to settle anymore. Like, I feel like they've cut themselves off from love, that there's a sense of that they feel like they're missing something, where a twin flame relationship will do that. When you meet your person, it's like, and then you know that you can have this relationship and it's like no other. They don't want to settle. I don't think that they had anything to compare it to before. Okay, you deserve better than me. And that goes back to what they're saying. So they know that they would have to step it up, that they would have to give you more. I don't know what I want. So, and that's, again, they don't know whether they're capable of giving you what you want. I feel like I can't give you what you need. See, and this is what on the emotional level at this point. Like sometimes in the relationship becomes too difficult. And then I need time. So there's a sense that they don't really want to let it go, but there's a sense that they definitely are not ready right now to give anything. I want to see how you feel about that. And this is not because they don't have feelings. What this is almost like a mind over heart that they're doing, because there's a sense of, if you want me to be with you, you're going to require me to change. I don't know whether or not I can do all that for you, and emotionally be there for you as well. And that's because once they break away from whatever this is, if they choose to do that, that they have to find their bearings. And I'm kind of feeling like they would be looking at you to help them, to give them. And they haven't once given you yet. It doesn't mean that there's not feelings there. They played a lot of games. So just because there's feelings there, you have to actually like nourish the relationship. That's why they got that before. They have to nourish the relationship, which means that they need to show up. They need to be emotionally intelligent. They don't really feel like they know whether they want to do that, number one, because of all their past relationships. Number two, they don't know whether they are capable, because they know that you're deep. It's not going to be a surface easy relationship. They know already, because it's a meaningful spiritual connection. They can feel that. So I feel like they're thinking a lot. They're overthinking. They want it, but they're afraid of it, is the energy. Mental health, and they need to like not obsess about it. It's like, because it's stressing them out. Repetitive cycles. See, it's like, and if they wind up keep thinking and obsessing about it, it's like they do nothing. It's like they're going to get in their own way, because they're mainly like talking themselves out of it, and not really because of any other reason except for they know that they would have to grow up. So it's like, I have feelings for you. I know that this is a really intense relationship, but I played so many games. So being that they played so many games, they're afraid to contact you, number one. And then number two, if they contact you, they know that they have to offer you something. And they know that they have to become an incorrect. And there's a sense of, I don't know whether I want to do that, which pisses me off, because it's like, oh, then like you're still like, you can't love me, but you're like gonna continue to get in your own way to sabotage the relationship. I'll come back for you. So it's, again, there's always like later. There's a sense that they know that you're important. They know that you, again, are a soulmate twin flame relationship. They know this. They have all these feelings for you. But then what happens is they start to think about it, and then they get in their own way. And then it's like, oh, I'll fix it later. So over time, you're just like, fuck you. It's like, you're always putting me on the back burner. You never get it really around to it. You never really fixed it. And so it keeps you stuck in your wound of, again, not emotionally getting what you've needed in the past, of not feeling good enough, of not feeling like, well, why am I getting this person? It's, those people understand, go to everybody. They go to everybody. But if you're attracting that person, and it's the fact that you're entertaining that person, not everyone entertains those people. Those people go to everybody and hopes, because they don't know who's going to give to them, but it's the people that entertain it. So you entertained it, so they know that this is a strong soul relationship. Their power came in the fact that you gave them. Then they were like, oh, I don't really have to kind of make a decision. And then it's like, well, I'll get around to it, which that would infuriate me, because there's a sense of, you know what you're doing, but you're doing it because you don't feel like you're deserving of it, and because you're afraid of, of relationships because of all your bad relationships. But look what you do to create the bad relationship. The chemistry between us is off the charts. Of course it is, because that's what, otherwise you would have walked away a long time ago. It's the fact that there is that passion and that there is that connection that makes you like deal with this. Otherwise, who the fuck wants to deal with it? It's like one person has one foot in, one foot out. What the fuck are you doing? It's like, oh, I really, really, really want you. I daydreaming about you. I may be over here with all these other people, but I'm thinking about you. And I know how important this relationship is, but I also know everything that I have to do in order to be with you. And that's where the problem comes into play. Because then they think about, well, it's, again, can I do that? Do I want to do that? And then, well, if I do that, is it still going to turn out like all those other relationships that I have, which tells me that they need to do healing. Otherwise, any relationship that they go into, they're just going to bleed all over the next person. I am faced with constant reminders of you, of course, because you can't control the soulmate twin flame relationship. It's unconditional love. They have been placed in your life for a reason, and they know this. They even said it. They were like, I know that this is a spiritual connection. Yeah, of course, because they can't walk away. And so when a person can't walk away, but they know that they need to come back and say, I'm sorry, and they know that they need to be different, and they're not doing it, of course they're seeing you everywhere because you're always on their mind. Now that song, You're Always on My Mind, well, that's the song that I keep hearing in my head, that Willie Nelson song. It's like, you're always on my mind. Like, it's like, again, they everywhere where they go, they think that they see you. It's like, and that happens when you really like a person. Right? And you know that you're supposed to do something. And of course, the chemistry, they feel like they'll pull back to you like a magnet. Emotionally unavailable. And that's, again, the stepping up, being there for you. That's the issue. Are they capable? And that's the problem that they've had in all of their relationships. Now, the question is that something that you'd be able to deal with? Because this person is going to come back. But it's always seems to be a little bit on their terms. Like, I'm going to get back to you. I am going to get back to you. But their insecurity, understand, love makes us do things that we wouldn't normally do. It gives us courage. Where's this person's courage? It's like by the time that they actually get it, like, you're going to be old. Like at this point, because they play so many games for you to give them emotionally. It's a way that they avoid having to give emotions, but they have feelings. This is what trauma does. I can see myself with you in the future. So it's, again, if they shipped up, you could see that. And I feel like they think that also. So there's a sense of, well, if they ever grow up, and they keep saying that they're one day going to grow up, and I can feel that we have this very strong spiritual bond. Maybe I'll date a few people in between. That's what I'm feeling. Like, you're almost like, how can I make this work with this person so I don't kill them? And that happens sometimes when you really like someone and you're like, I know I need to like date other people. Know I need to do, like, try and get over you. So like, you probably in a place where you're trying to get over this person because they emotionally can't give to you, even though they have strong feelings. Friends or family disapprove of this connection. That's what I was saying about like outside influences, keeping your person, again, tied to them. And that could be because they have a business together. It could be for a numerous amounts of reasons, and going to be different for all of you. But it's, again, that your person wears a mask, again, listens to outside influences too much, doesn't have a good sense of self. That's why they didn't let you in to begin with. And believe me, those friends and family can feel that your person does not want to stay there. So the more that your person shows that they don't want to stay there, the more that those influences are going to like try and do more to, you know, keep your person nervous, to keep them from moving forward. I just feel like your person's getting to the place where they're like, I can see that you're manipulating me. I feel terrible for hurting you. Yeah, see, like that unconditional love that they have for you, they're seeing there. It's, again, regardless of what they did, if they didn't care, they wouldn't be even thinking about it. So in order for them to be with you, they have to pretty much change their life. And, that's what everyone is disapproving about, because I'm sure it's going to break up a family for some of you. For others, it's going to break up a business. For others, other people are just dependent on them, like for them to be by themselves. So, but love always wins. The person sees a different like outcome of their life, like what their life could be. And that's, again, that deep passion. And they, like, again, their conscience is on them. They see you everywhere because, again, you're always on their mind. And now it's, again, there's a sense of, I need to fix this. So they want to fix it. Soulmate, because they know that you're their soulmate. And I feel like that they're your soulmate too. And there's a sense of that there is this unconditional love. Please be patient with me. They are trying to get out of their situation. They don't know if you're like, how are they going to come? They don't know. And the reason why is because they are so consumed with how they were, who they were connected to, how they were living their life, comparing their life to you, seeing how you live your life, that you're so different from them, how they normally aren't even attracted to people like you. Everything that they feel is internal, nothing external, like, I'm going to go there on March 3rd at 3 o'clock with a bouquet of flowers. They don't know. This is a soul connection. So I'm telling you, most likely it's going to be divine, meaning they don't even know. And it's because they don't have courage right now. They're still kind of like fighting themselves, but they see you everywhere, feel you everywhere, want this connection, still afraid, But I'm telling you, eventually they are not going to be able to stay away from you because it's all over these cards. I feel terrible. And then let's see. I'm planning on reaching out to you. So it's again, they're planning on slow. It's slow. It's a very slow, but they do have feelings for you. I think a lot of, this relationship that you have with them has really created just a lot of awareness for them about themselves, what they want, how they've been living. Again, making them look at relationships differently. I think it's teaching you about patience because you still have feelings for them. It's teaching you forgiveness, it's teaching you patience. And not all the time in relationships are you going to have to be patient and forgiving. Sometimes, again, the other person is. It just so happens in the beginning of this relationship, if you're going to get this relationship ever off the ground, the ball is in your court, Virgo. It's going to be whether or not you forgive them when they reach out. It's going to be up to you how you deal with them. But they want it. They want this relationship. And listen, if they've never lived any other way, and their life was okay because they had a lot of money and were able to live the life that, was satisfying to them, even if it was, you know, um, based on material things and based on what they had and where they could go and not really the people in their life. Well, they realize that their life is pretty empty and that they have an opportunity to change it, but that doesn't mean that they don't have an entire life that they need to like completely change. And that's gonna like really like um create a lot of turbulence in everybody else's life that they're connected to that depend on them. And that's what you're seeing in this story right now. So one last card to see what it is. I want you to believe in me again. I know that I must take full responsibility for my actions. I will earn your trust again. So, and that's all that can really be. And that would really be the advice of the universe. So if you really do care, now this is collective reading. Some Virgos are going to say, I'm not taking that person back ever. But if they're a soulmate twin flame, it's not that easy to be like, I'm not taking that person back. There's a reason why there's so much chemistry. There's a reason why you feel that spiritual divine connection. It's because they're supposed to be in your life. So a lot of times we say one thing, but then 5 minutes later we feel something else. That's why these relationships can make you crazy. And that's what's disturbing to your person because they are not used to deep like emotional relationships. They're used to surface relationships. And this is actually a deep relationship, one that they tried to walk away from and they couldn't. So at this point, if both of you guys know that you can't walk away because it's something special, you have no choice but to give this person a chance because people do change. Do they change if you make them change? No, you can't make anyone change. However, if someone falls in love with you and you hold your boundary and say, this is the way that it's got to be, this is what I refuse to, I refuse to settle. Like, and you have to do X, Y, and Z. Well, what this shows is your person's like, I'm going to figure it out. Will it look great? No, because I don't know what I'm doing. But if you're patient with me, this can work out. Now, you may not have any patience. This relationship can trigger the shit out of you because you're going to look at everything that they do as, oh, you didn't do this when you should have did it. You should have called me at this time. You should have responded this way. They don't think the way you do. You're not getting someone that thinks the way that you do, that acts the way that you do. And the reason why is soulmate twin flames very rarely think the same way. It doesn't mean that they don't have the same traumas, doesn't mean that they don't have the same wounds, but the way that they address life and approach life So it's, again, this person's very logical. You, again, are very emotional. The approaches of life are different. And then when your person is has never had to do any of this shit before, and now they're completely upheaving their life to um to change their life because you inspired them, they obviously want a chance with you, but you're going to need to be patient because it's like this person is like, again, thought that everything was fine until they met you, and again now everything is their life. You were the catalyst for everything falling apart. It's like first the connection, and then my job, and then people that I'm attached to, and then everything. Because a lot of times when we wear a mask, everything is built on facades, and we're in spiritual years. So anything that is not working in a person's life and isn't built on truth is going to collapse. And what we see is an ego death, which is a dark night of the soul, which is what I feel like your person is in right now because they have to deal with all these changes. And even though they want the changes, everyone's going to be affected in it. So there's a sadness and there's a lot of different emotions that they have to process, and then get the courage up to actually step into their true self. But they want to do that. It says they're going to do that. And like I said, I'm feeling like there's part of you that's like, I really wish I didn't want to do this. I really wish I did not care about this person. I would really love to tell them, no, go fuck yourself because I'm pissed. And God says, well, that's just everything that needs to be healed within inside you. That's your shadow, because again, they made you wait. They didn't make you feel loved. They, again, kind of abandoned you because they were so consumed with their own shit. And so this was all your stuff to look at. But again, there's unconditional love, because at the end of the day, it's like, ugh, I still care. And so that's what I see there. So I'm going to leave it there. If you resonated with this, let me know. If you want to win a free psychic soul reading with me. Now, remember, I always look at the blocks and I look at the behaviorisms on how, your situation is karmically being affected and what you need to do to fix it. So the readings are a little bit different, but I always will tell you what they're going to do, your person's going to do. But we always want to understand, because in this story, this person had a lot of feelings, but nothing was grounded. Ironic. The word that I pulled out was grounded. It was like everything was in the 3D. They, again, were having a love affair with you in their mind, but never gave anything and didn't want to give anything either, to the point that you walked away. And so now what they're saying is, in order for me to be in this relationship, I have to get grounded. And that's kind of scary. So again, readings will tell you what the person's behaviorisms are, because if you would have went back in the relationship with this person while they had one foot in, one foot out, you would have never got what you wanted. They would have never looked and actually seen, like, really looked at you, giving you the time. They would have treated you like everybody else. So by you actually stepping away, they could feel the difference, they can see the difference, and it made them really look at their life. And that's what relationships are all about. A lot of times, those spiritual, the ones that really impact us, they change us because they make us look at ourselves. They make us look at our past actions and make us look at our life, and allow us to, see where we might want to make some changes. And that's what's happening. But that takes time. So you're going to have to be patient, Virgo. I'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye.